You do the kit demo. You just fire them all off.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fire them all off. Yeah, Izanami is a really fun character. Very strong character with a unique wave clear, which is going to be definitely a balance challenge. She's feeling more fair now, but she just does something that's kind of like... she's one of those later stage Smite gods where intentionally breaking the rules on the characters, right?
Yep.
So she has always just been a crazy lane pusher. It's made her an extremely popular character, though. Yeah, chat's noticing updated ability icons. A lot of our gods are getting updated ability icons. Some of them right away at their launch. Some take a little bit longer, but these have definitely been updated. We have some quality of life change to the way the passive stacks work. They won't decrease if damage was taken recently. AO1 bonus damage is now a stacking bleed.
Yes,
instead
this is
of
one
just
of the
bonus
bigger
damage.
changes.
Yeah, this is a big one. So you can stack this up like, and it also has intelligence scaling. So we're kind of going to see that in a few places across the kit, supporting a potential Iza mid playstyle or more ability-based Iza.
So yeah, the stacking bleed, I guess, would make her a little bit less bursty, giving you a little bit of a chance to counterplay against her when she's using her one.
Yeah, I guess so. The number tuning matters a lot here, so any future adjustments could adjust that. But the way it seems like the intent is that just hitting one of those is going to deal less bonus damage than it would have in Smite 1. But if you hit multiple in a row, that's going to compound, and it's going to deal more damage per tick while refreshing the duration. So you're going to get this like heavier and heavier hit, and I've definitely felt that in playtesting. Like if Iza gets right on top of you, if you're trying to, like, I play support a lot, so if I'm just trying to body block out an Iza for a long time and she pops this stim and just starts hitting like 100% accuracy on you, you get shredded real fast. It really starts to stack up, but it's harder for her to pull that off against longer range DPS characters, other mages and carries poking her back. But if you really get that perfect accuracy during the stim, it pays off big time.
Yeah, rewarding good play a little bit more than the oldest Izanami did, I guess.
And so one of the other big changes was that the AO1 and AO2 can be fired from her stealth state. Can you test that for me?
Let's see here.
So you activate it, and you do not... I think that was timed with the duration.
Yeah.
Do it again. Do it again with the 1. Okay, it breaks you out of stealth on the 1. But maybe that you had to cancel it first.
Yeah,
No,
maybe. One second.
The
So
2
if
definitely worked. The 2, that took you out of stealth.
Yeah.
So it says can be used in stealth. I'll have to check with Ro on what he meant with that note.
But it's very cool that I can now
the 3-2
stealth in,
that worked, and you
then,
didn't.
and I'm still
unstealth.
invisible.
Yeah, you're still stealthed. Now that is just like very ghostly too, right? It's like this ghost just comes out, and you don't even know
You're
where.
like, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Well, and because of the projectile on that too, you know exactly where she is when she fires it.
Right.
Because, it has such a big tell on it. So you could still use it to help locate her.
A lot of the time, you're like tracking Izanami pretty closely, like the way that leap is telegraphed and the particle effects. Like a lot of times, you are following her pretty closely. But this lets her do some pretty cool like gank play patterns. The AO3 has bonus movement speed while in stealth.
Yeah, I was about to say, she seemed like she was zooming.
So she's got a little extra movement speed while in stealth, giving her a little bit additional safety. And the AO4 applies a fading slow that starts like a really strong slow and then drops off over time. It's also now a damage over time ability and also scales off int. So you can do like true nuke Iza. We've had nice part. I was going to say, I really noticed the particle effects there on a lot of the abilities. One of the challenges with Smite 1 Izanami was a lot of like reds and blacks used everywhere. So red is just inherently looks enemy, and black does not really stand out, and it can be hard to see. So there's kind of a little bit more accent of this sort of gold yellow that still, it feels very like underworldly. It doesn't really feel fiery. It's kind of but it accents the abilities and makes them a lot more visible, I think, especially in a crowded team fight.
Yeah, so it seems like we leaned more into the stealthy, ghostly kind of aspect of her, and then also the bleed aspect of kind of death.
Yeah.
He is.
He is the largest collision box in Smite 2 now. Eventually, a few gods caught up to him in Smite 1 and tied his size. I don't think we ever made anyone bigger than Khepri sized. But now we have Khepri in Smite 2, and he's big.
Get my abilities here. Send me level 20.
And he looks real good in the new engine. Like, he's got so much metallic and materials and
He
stuff like
looks
that.
so
too,
good.
that he looks, yeah. You can see those reflections. Yeah, even from there you go.
Showing off new features already.
They're just going to be apparent, but if we want to go through the kit line by line or with the bonus effects, the passive is essentially unchanged. Pulses out the shield. It speeds up when you're out of combat and slows down when you've dealt damage or taken damage. It's the same as it was in Smite 1. But a lot of people forget about that speed up slow down mechanic of it. So like a lot of people were like thinking that's a +1, but no, that was in Smite 1 as well. The AO1 has like, let's see, it's kind of got a few features. One that's really noticeable is the turn radius is a lot faster or higher radius. So when you pull a Ymir, you'll have more control over them. Yeah, everyone's asking about the blink. That is just an updated blink icon for combat blink. It's just because that was one of the oldest temp icons. It was using like Smite 1 closed beta art. We updated it, so that is just blink. No gameplay changes, just art changes.
It feels like you can really like pull somebody around a corner now.
Like if you go grab one of the mirrors in the middle and then just like try to turn the whole time you're pulling, yeah, like that. You couldn't do that in Smite 1. It was pretty much straight back. It would either trigger every time or we'd have to put some special code to avoid that. But if you walk into the deployable, you can buff yourself, and this just gives you a better chance of hitting your whole team in a larger, or like if you throw this on like a Gold Fury fight where everybody's there, this ability, it's a relatively short duration effect, only 3 seconds, but it's very potent.
strong.
Yeah. No, you can't get double hit with the Khepri buff, by the way. That doesn't stack in any way. It can just refresh. Okay, we're on to Nemesis now. She had a bigger model update than either of the other two gods. So you can see, you know, just from here, the textures, like, very different. You can really see the leather and the cloth stand out a lot more clearly. She's had some specific clothing adjustments to the details across her armor. And effects updates just like everyone else has had.
Yeah, one of the bigger animation changes for her. So for I think every god that we're bringing over, we had to do upper body, lower body stuff. So and in Smite 1, when Nemesis is attacking, her feet just don't move. They're locked in with the animation. And now she can full 8-way run while attacking, which
a lot of old Smite gods slide really bad like that. Yeah.
So it's like her normal walk, but with the ability to do that while attacking.
And pretty much every god in Smite 1 did that type of thing. Just some were a lot more noticeable than others. It just depends on the animation, the god type, the attack chain. Some like just it looks really obvious on some, and in others you really don't notice it. Also, that's why we love one of the reasons why we love floating gods. Yeah, floating gods are just so much easier.
Yeah,
you can do so much stuff with it. Like, you can just be really flexible with the animation.
Cool. All right. Well, you ready to get into some of the new features, +1s, quality of life stuff for Nem?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pulling up the notes right now.
Let's do it.
Lermy has prepared for Nemesis. We have. So let's see. She's going to be hybrid scaling as well now. She's going to have intelligence in the kit, and a lot of the things that would normally like just steal physical power are now going to steal both.
Yes, Lermy did mention that she's going to be super versatile, lots of different scaling
So there's
types
int
and stuff.
scaling damage there. Yeah, so this can be, you could really build her really flexibly, which we haven't done really on an assassin yet, a jungler.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of warriors and solo laners fit that really well, but this is kind of the first one like this. I think it fits her really well. So the passive is now going to steal in-hand power, strength, and int when she hits enemies. And in-hand power, strength, and int kind of double dips even on basic attacking, so she's even a little bit more of like a anti-carry character.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Between the shield was already pretty good for that too, so she's indexing a little bit more into that, you know, phase of really being able to jump on the enemy carry. The AO1 we have no notes for, so that was unchanged. A lot of careful consideration put into this ability, though, and making the feel and the timing, the refiring as smooth as possible, making sure, can you just fire it once for me? So it does not default to the targeter up, which that was a big back and forth, and we were kind of inconsistent on Smite 1. Some gods would default to the refire targeter up, which we would do essentially to, help players understand that you can fire this again.
Right, yeah.
It was more obvious to that, but, everybody kind of knows what they're doing now, and this is much better to default to the idle state as far as mixing it up with different abilities in between the dashes or basic attack canceling.
Right.
So this is the more, preferred method for most experienced players. I think at one point, Nemesis was defaulting to the dash mode. Although, like I said, even in Smite 1, it's been adjusted many times. At one point, there was different rules for console and PC on different gods. Susanoo had different rules than Xingqian. And I think it was Xingqian was the one who always defaulted to leaping again.
Right, yeah.
And maybe Nemesis and Susanoo didn't. But either way, we're trying to do them all like this. So that's just kind of a fun fact about the AO1. Ability 2, the center hit cone has been adjusted, what we call a pullback cone. So you can see it doesn't really end in a super fine point right at Nemesis. This is something we started doing in Smite 1 as well. When our cones just met at a super fine point, you would get these like really narrow points where you would miss someone, even though it seems like it's crazy to consider that a miss. Yeah. Should be the same as Smite 1, unless explicitly mentioned, or it would be considered a bug. In that case, it got missed. Some characters have really deep hidden features, but the Nem shield being canceled by CC, we definitely discussed. I think we even tested it for a bit where it couldn't be removed by CC.
Right.
It was just very strong and frustrating. There felt like there was no counter, but that was the case. All right, the ultimate. This is the actual +1. So Nem ultimate, you still gotta aim and lock onto a single god. It's gonna deal some base damage. It's gonna deal percent health damage. It's going to reduce their protections and steal it, and it's gonna slow them. But your mirrors might be a little too far away from each other. You might need to spawn another one.
Yeah, hold on. I got it. Boom, boom. All right.
But this ability is now AoE. It is AoE designed around the size of the god. So it's the same size as the target. It's a relatively small AoE. And it does the AoE. I believe it's off of the center god hit, not the targeter change. You could try it. That hit both. Now, aim more to the left, but hit that same Ymir.
Gotcha.
Is that the first triple god?
This is our first triple god
update
in Smite history.